All right. I'm here today. I'm with Stephanie Harvey. She is running for council for the District 1 council seat. And she's allowed me to sit down with her and have this little interview here. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Right on. I got some questions I'll ask, and we'll just kind of start from there. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and why you're running for District 1?
Well, I'm Stephanie Harvey. I've been a long life resident of Florence and of District 1. I attended Brashaw High School. I graduated in 2001. I attended Shelton State on a basketball scholarship, and after I left there, I went to Virginia College and attained my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I moved back to Florence in 2011. I had lived in Huntsville for about 8-9 years. I had to move back because my mother had got sick, and I worked for UNA for about 5 years, and I just got frustrated at working at UNA.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and got my CDLs and drove trucks over the road for a little time period, and now I'm driving for the school system, school buses.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much why I'm running, I'm a citizen of District 1. I am disappointed of things that has not been getting done in District 1. District 1 didn't look like how it looks now. It used to be a very, very beautiful place, very upkept.
It used to be about how long ago? Sorry to interrupt you.
I would say it started going down probably about the time I came back around 2010, 2011.
Okay.
Because stuff on my street where people were still taking care of their properties, it wasn't overgrown. You know, people were still involved. And it just, over time, it just seemed like people either died and their properties got tied up in probate and we don't know who owns it, or just people just paying property taxes and just forgot about the properties.
Mm-hmm.
So the main reason why I'm running is that we need a stronger leadership. We need someone who's going to be honest, who's going to have a voice, who can stand up and fight for what we need in District 1. And that's basically what it is. It's time to stop talking and have a conversation. You either shut up or put up, and I wanted to do something about it, and instead of just complaining and not doing anything. So I said, hey, nobody else is stepping up to the plate. Why not me?
I can relate to that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you could talk about the difference between you and your. I guess you got, how many opponents do you have? Like,
It's two.
what do you think? What's different about you against the people you're running against? You would say.
With me, I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to ask, what is this purpose for? What do we need this for? Is this going to help District 1, or is it going to help Florence at all? That's one thing about me. Dave Smith has had the position before. He really didn't speak up enough for our community. And Miss Katrina has held the position for 8 years, which we've had the remodeling of the recreational center, which is good. I guess other little small things that she's done in the community. But for 8 years, to a lot of us who's been in District 1, we feel like that she hasn't done anything. And we feel like we need a change. Change needs to come.
And hence you running.
Yes.
I mean, if she was doing
Everything
was okay, you wouldn't be running, right?
I'll be honest with you. I have called Katrina out on several times and asked her about the properties that's in front of me and that the surrounding properties. I've been told that she's got in touch with people, and I've actually got in touch with the person that lives across the street with me, and they still haven't done anything. So I don't know if it's Katrina or if it's the people that's above Katrina that's not helping, or if she's not working with certain departments. I don't know what it is, but we need to get to the brass knuckles of things, of why things are not getting done.
Mm-hmm.
Because since I've been campaigning, I've heard a lot of complaints that they've talked to Katrina and still nothing has gotten done. So is it on the mayor or is it on her? Who is it on? Who is stopping progress in District 1?
Yeah, well, that definitely takes some investigation because they don't come out and say it, that's for sure.
No.
I'm throwing this question here. Personally, I'm a big proponent for transparency, governmental transparency. That's sort of like my whole dig on why I'm doing what I'm doing. What are your thoughts on governmental transparency, and would you promote that if you were elected?
Yeah, I believe transparency is an important thing. But right now, our people that's in our city government, I think they have lost touch with the citizens. They're not listening to what the citizens want. You know, over this past week, I've got to meet a lot of the candidates, and they promised a lot of things. I'm not here to promise you anything. I'm in here just like I have my plans here, right here. If we go by a plan model, I think things can get done. My transparency with things, I want to be hands-on with the people. I want to be seen in the community. I want you to be able to come and talk to me. And
That's
we
part of it.
talk about things, and we can get things done. I think a lot of the people have let the position go to their head. Like I said, they're here for photo ops and handshakes.
Keys to the city?
Yes, and they're not getting anything done.
Yeah.
People are complaining. One of the big things that nobody has talked about is Magnolia Gardens, where our elderly is. That building is very old, and they need to do something about that. They need to get the housing authority together. We need grant money for mental health and for our elderly. Because our elderly uptown, if you would go and look at Magnolia, it's terrible. It's roach infested. Sometimes the elevators don't work. We should not treat our elderly like that. They're part of District 1 too.
Yeah.
But the transparency is just being involved with the people, responding. Every time someone inboxes me, I hit them back. I try to talk to them. I try to give them the information that they want to hear and what they need to hear. And I'm going to try to work on it. I'm only one person. And all the councilmen, we're all one person, and we're all trying to listen to all of these people in our area, and it's just sometimes, it's hard.
Yeah. Well, nothing worthwhile is easy, I think, but it's worthwhile, right? I'd like to ask you this question. Could you give a sort of an overall vision you have for District 1 and perhaps the city as a whole?
For District 1 and all the districts is to get the infrastructure in each district to be fixed, whether it be roads, drainage, overgrown properties. To me, that is the first thing that we need to get done. We cannot let the infrastructure go down any further in our districts. When I was there at the different forums, I heard a lot of the candidates say that they do have drainage issues in each one of the districts. It needs to be taken care of. For instance, Mr. Roberts, who lives off Garfield, who I've talked about, he's sharing property with the city, and the city is not taking care of their part. There are people sharing drainage, okay? The city and those people need to come to an agreement on what we need to do about it. It's things that needs to be fixed. What I want to see in Florence is I want to see Florence get out of debt. I want us
Sorry
to
if
get
I laugh a little.
I'm dead serious.
No, I'm so
Because
frustrated with
$50
it.
million in one building is ludicrous.
Yeah.
Do you know what you could have did with $50 million? We could have built a city hall under $10 million.
Yeah.
And the rest could have went to all 6 of the districts and fixed up stuff in the districts.
Yeah.
Or we could have took $50 million and fixed up McFarland's the water bottom, where we could lift the sides where it wouldn't flood as much.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much that we could do. I even look at the Renaissance Tower. If you ride by the Renaissance Tower, it's rusted on top.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
from a distance, especially when the sun shines on it. Like today, you won't see much, but if you see when the sun shines on it, it looks terrible.
Yeah.
We need to take better care of stuff that's inside of Florence first before we go and start building stuff that we really don't need. I don't even know where this pickleball court that everyone is I don't.
I always laugh when I hear pickleball. It's
You know,
Florida.
and before
But
we
it's a lot of money. They spent like $7 million on that.
yes, before we do projects, I believe that the citizens in each district need to see the budget.
Yeah.
That's fair. You budget your household, right?
Yeah.
I budget mine. I think everybody in Florence has a budget.
Yeah.
Why does the citizens don't get to see the budget? What are y'all doing with the money that you don't want the citizens to see?
Yeah. How much money coming in, how much coming out. And they don't make it easy to get these records. I mean, you can go up to the city clerk's office and get stuff, but I had experience last time where they pretty much forced me to buy like a stack of papers this big when they could have just sent me the file. And that was just a passive aggressive
And if you go
move.
on the city's website and you look up for the financial budget, the last financial budget they have is from 2023.
Yeah. We got a chief financial officer. I never hear her speak at the meetings. So, sorry if I'm projecting my stuff onto the, but it's just a conversation, not just one, you know. But the department heads, it seems like the council people, they keep saying the council people are like supposed to be the go-between between the public and the department heads. But what happens when the council, well, I find what happens is you just get stopped at the council member. You know, the department heads, from my experience, if the department heads are completely insulated from the public, what incentive they have to work, you know, to get things done that the public wants, you know, so.
Well, like I said, being a citizen of Florence and had a parent that worked at the city,
Do you mind if I asked?
my mother worked for the utility department
Okay.
for over 25 years.
Okay.
So, and she worked on the third floor. So they're not going to show us financial.
Yeah,
She even said that herself. For some reason, they don't want the citizens to see financially, and I think that is wrong.
the mood of the city is just like, everything that I do in there, they give me this attitude like, this is none of my business. I'm like, excuse me? And it usually encourages me to do it even more.
Well, I believe the city is confused because
Yeah.
one moment you want the city of Florence to be a college town, and then the next moment you want it to be a retirement town.
Yeah,
You know? So which one do you want? Retirement or a college town?
yeah.
We hadn't even deciphered that, right? I mean, people are confused. Are we going to be for UNA or are we going to be for retirement?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we can get started on UNA if you want. I think we give too much money. I think that we have too close of a relationship with UNA, and UNA is not a city department, but it's treated as such, except for we don't have access to it. That's my beef with UNA, you know. I'm not sure your views on that. You can speak on that if you want, our relationship with UNA.
I don't have beef with UNA. I work for UNA.
Yeah.
And that's why I really don't speak on it because I know
It
how.
might be a conflict of interest maybe too, or,
I'll just say this. I worked in environmental services
yeah.
and they did not treat us right.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say this to the people who lost their jobs at UNA with environmental services. I will say this, fight, because you have a fight. Fight, because what they did to you is wrong. What they did to those people in environmental services is wrong, and it's cutting the little people.
Yeah.
The people that worked in environmental services.
How much does Kits make a year, I think? I was like, crazy.
He's
400
making
grand or
he's
something like
making over $600,000 a year.
that. Yeah.
And the people, environmental services, I'm just gonna let the people know, people that work in environmental services, when I started there, I was making $10.50.
Yeah.
I left UNA in 2022, and they were left with, they got $1 raise or a quarter raise or whatever you want to call it. Even the people when I left were making $11 an hour.
Yeah. And they get millions from the city too. I mean, it's, you know, it's just.
Things that go on at UNA is wrong. wrong. I could go into a whole spew, but I'm not.
I think I'm going to take it back to your initial. You said that you decided to run, and I was there whenever you kind of made your initial statement up at City Hall. I mean, at the council meeting about blighted properties in District 1. It seems like that's a priority concern of yours, right? I've sat through some committee meetings and stuff. I've heard Katrina ask about it, and I've heard the department head says, well, we got like a queue, like, we got to take care of this before we take care of this. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure how hard she pushed it. Yeah.
Ask yourself this question: when you look at the agenda, how many things on that agenda is about District 1?
Every now and then, something.
Thank you.
Whenever they want to put up give an alcohol license for a liquor store.
That's about it.
I'm saying, and it seemed like, would you say anything about, would you maybe object to maybe some liquor license?
We don't need any more liquor stores in District 1.
East Side and West Side don't need any more.
Let me ask you this. Why are they put in District 1 and District 3? Because we're low income.
Yeah.
You see liquor stores over in 4, 5, and 6.
No, they don't want no liquor stores out there.
It's only maybe one.
Yeah.
But they don't want them here. They want to put them all over here in the low-income communities. And I could go into that spew about why they do that. But
this is an interesting story. I think it was about a year and a half ago or something, and during the council meeting, like during the general business, they had a slew of liquor licenses they get, and then I was kind of looking at it, I was like, whatever. But then I saw the guy who sponsors it. I forget his name, but he goes up there and they kind of made a joke. Goes, well, I guess I'm the liquor man, and then the council kind of laughed and stuff, and that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I got up during the public speaking session. I was just like, yeah, do you just like hand out liquor licenses to whoever they want? And and I never see people, the owners that put up these liquor stores, where are they? They not address the public? I want to see their face. I want to see the face of the person who's bringing in the hard liquor in these areas. Why can't I say they can at least show up? But they don't even bother showing up. I made that, and then I kind of made a stink out of it. It's kind of funny to me. They thought it was all a joke. I'm like, alcoholism is not a joke. It's not a joke. I had friends and family have died from it. It's not a joke. But,
it isn't.
And it doesn't help. No, it doesn't help.
Alcohol has plagued our District 1 for over decades.
I mean,
and we do not need any more use for liquor stores.
I mean, we all have our personal demons we're accountable for, but you don't need a liquor store right in your front yard. It ain't helping nothing, and it doesn't help the city. I guess the city might get some tax money from the taxes, but the destruction that they cause costs way more than that in money and human suffering. Yeah. And just some thoughtfulness with that, I think. And I haven't really seen the current council person say too much about that. So
I'm not for it, but people gonna drink regardless.
Yeah, but you see kind of the point. You can kind of at least question it a little bit.
I'm just gonna keep it real. I just always felt like the city of Florence have never gave a crap about District 1. Yeah. And you want to know why I feel like that? Do you know that the projects is built on a landfill? Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Our projects is built on the landfill. I wouldn't even drink the water from up there because it's on a landfill. So that lets you know how much they cared about District 1 from way back in the 50s and the 60s. They didn't give a care. In the 40s and the 20s, they put us on trash. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why you don't see much of anything on our agenda. This is why I am running, because I am tired of people selling us out. And I'm just not talking just the west side of Florence, because people who live in the north side, let's just talk about North Florence, where Harlan was. In the early 80s and the 90s, it was white people that lived over there. And then as time passed, black people moved to over there. Where there are still white people that live over there, but it's not as many as it used to be. You can see how they redistrict everything. If I had the district map,
The districts
Yeah.
are very interesting shape, I have to say
You
that.
put all of the west side, and then you cut the north side in half, and you put all the minorities and a couple of white people and Spanish and Asian people over here with the rest of District 1.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think it's right at all. And I'm just going to put it and be clear. No, they do not care about District 1 because we're predominantly
Perhaps
black.
And the council person that represents your districts currently in the past, maybe they're supposed to represent you.
The only person that we've had that really represented us was Mr. Sam Pendleton. And Mr. Sam Pendleton tried to fight and fight and fight. And he was in the fight where in the early 90s and the 80s where it was still tension because we are in Alabama. It
Yeah.
was still tension.
Yeah.
But the councilmen that we've had over the past years,
I just wanted to say, I feel like the city government really only cares about downtown Florence. You know, they don't care about the poor.
they don't care about the
poor,
poor.
the
They
poor
don't care-
third, like in District 3, they don't care
They
about.
don't care about the poor. They don't care about the mental health that's going on.
Yeah,
And they don't care about the elderly.
yeah,
Because if you cared about the elderly, you would get NACOG more funding and better transportation and more NACOG buses for our elderly people. If they really cared. If you really cared, you would not try to defund money from Riverbend, which you would put more money in.
yeah.
Riverbend's building is old. Even though it's not in my district, we still have to look at it every day.
Yeah.
And I just felt like that land, instead of building a shop, because ask yourself this question. Once this shopping center gets built over here, you know the Riverbend people are going to wander over there. So what are you going to do? Are you going to ban them from going to the shopping center? Are you going to treat them mean?
I'll probably have some nice big fences.
But that's ugly.
I'm just.
That's ugly.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's the mentality.
Yeah,
You
I know the mentality, but that's ugly. So what are we going to do about that? You know, we're just putting stuff up and not asking the people, didn't nobody come? There was no letterheads. There were nothing that sent to District 1 or District 2 about this shopping center being put on.
They just voted on it?
They
It's
just
just
voted
done?
on it and put it over there.
Seemed like they would have at
We
least
didn't have
a district
an
meeting.
input. And just like they're just trying to slide this dead end in,
Yeah.
they still haven't asked anybody in District 1, do you even want this over here?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Because I look at it like this. Once you open that dead end, you got traffic coming through here. What they don't know is that of a lot of the UNA people that stay in Bellamede run around there. They run and use that dead end. I walk around there. I walk down Beverly and all in District 2 because it's a nice neighborhood where you can walk quietly. So if you bring this shopping center and you open this dead end, what's going to happen? Traffic. We're going to deal with speeding. We're going to deal with way with criminals can come into the neighborhood easier. Even though you got a way to come in, but you got to look at stuff like that. I look at safety because people walk up and down College Street. Right now, College Street is peaceful. But why are you doing this? You're opening it up because Bunyan's been getting good business for decades. You're opening it up because you put a new Mexican restaurant here in a shopping center? That's the only two reasons why they're opening up this dead end. It's for the shopping center and it's for the Mexican restaurant that just was put in here at, it used to be a soul food place. Why all of a sudden you ain't been wanting to open up this dead end? So why all of a sudden now you want to open it up? Did you ask District 2 that they want it? Because you got to understand that dead end runs straight in between District 1 and District 2.
I don't know enough about it to have a comment on it, but I do.
A lot of people don't know because a lot of people haven't come to my side of District 1. There are a lot of people that are afraid to come to the west side, and the west side is not a dangerous place.
Yeah.
It's just stereotyped that way. There's narratives about us that think, oh, because it's a low poverty and this, that, oh, it's dangerous. We don't have gangs in the West Side. If you want to call them gangs, they're social clubs. They haven't did one drive-by. The people that are shooting people and causing violence in District 1 are disputes between normal people that need to find something with their life to do. That's what it is. We're not Memphis. We're not Birmingham.
No.
We're not Baltimore, and we're definitely not Chicago.
Yeah.
So stop stereotyping District 1 of the West Side like that. It's nowhere like that. You just need people to come put investment back into that community.
Other than liquor stores, you mean?
Yes, other than liquor stores. Because I miss Mr. Moody. I know Mr. Moody had to retire. Mr. Moody had a wonderful drugstore that a lot of us use. Now, when Mr. Moody retired, you put it either back on Walgreens that's on Dr. Hicks, or you put it on Barnes that's here. And we have a lot of elderly. We need more pharmacies. We need more grocery stores. We need more restaurants. We need important, everyday, essential things that we need to go in District 1. North side of District 1, they have a grocery store. They have 7 Point Shopping Center. 7 Point Shopping Center just needs a facelift. And maybe we got a Dollar General over there. We also have a Dollar Tree. You have Taco Bell. You have McDonald's. They have things that they go to. I know people want restaurants and stuff over there, but we also have to look like we are landlocked, okay? We have Burroughs Slater that's over there that can't be tore down. It's a historical part of District 1, okay? In some of the churches that's over there, you can't mess with those because they're historical. You can't put a lot of things over there by Mount Moriah because it's a cemetery. We're not finna build on top of dead people. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of Florence is landlocked. We don't have a lot of land inside to build and do some of the things that we want to do. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. I see that you got this right here. Could you tell me a little bit about this? I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Well, this is just my plans of what I want to do. I want people to insure people. It gives a step-by-step about how we will implement neighborhood watch into and what it's useful for and what is its purpose. Bringing back business, it's the same thing. It's discussing why we want to do it, what is its purpose for it, and how we'll go about doing it. Same thing with the cleanup. Just letting you know, hey, we're going to go look for grants first, and then we're going to talk to these property owners. And if we can't get these two together, we're also going to enforce that code. That's what a lot of people don't know. If you don't know about ordinance codes that are in Florence, Google the city of Florence and look up ordinance. There's 16 chapters and more. And the ordinance for property, it's in, I had it written down, it's in section 16, and it's under weed and nuisance. That's where that ordinance is. And it's not being put in place for nothing, not just for District 1, for all of, we've seen overgrown businesses that's just sitting up.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that abandoned hotel that's downtown.
I have to say that, what's the best way of saying this? Earlier, you were kind of saying, like, oh, why does people stereotype District 1? Why do people, like, derelict buildings give a mystique of a place you don't want to be around. That's just human nature. If I go to an area and the place seems kind of run over, I'm like, I'm not going to be chilling here for very long because they're not, it's just common sense, and I think that would be a good direction in maybe changing that, maybe getting more
That's my
engagement.
whole purpose of running. I want to change the narrative of District
Like you drive around a neighborhood and you see it's kind of run down. Do you want to hang out there for very long if you don't live there?
Right.
No.
I'm gonna tell you, when I go to Memphis, I go in the daytime.
Yeah. Memphis is no joke.
I will be for real. I'm scared of some of my own people because some of my own people they will shoot you dead as a doorknob.
Yeah, Memphis is no joke.
No.
Neither is Birmingham.
No.
But Florence, I almost kind of giggle when people say like Florence is is dangerous. I mean, I've lived in a big city before. I'm just
Florence
like,
is not dangerous.
but this is compared to people who haven't lived other places. I'm like, listen, you don't know what dangerous is. That doesn't mean that we can't have improvements or whatever, but like you said, Memphis or like
Go to Chicago, where
I lived in California for a long time. You know, it's
If I was in Chicago right now, I couldn't wear yellow
Yeah.
because that's Latin King territory.
yeah.
Yellow and gold. It's like these kids can't even wear certain colors up there. We don't have this problem in Florence, Alabama.
Yeah,
We have a neglect problem.
Yeah.
And people that just don't care.
if there's anything, I would say Florence, I don't have a sense of danger in Florence, but I do have a sense of sort of like depressed, you know, it's sort of like down and out, you know, there's a lot of poverty here, which can just kind of kill the spirit a lot of times, you know. And it would be nice if they could promote something other than just like gussing it up downtown, because that seems like all they care about, in my opinion. But
But let me ask you this. If District 1 West Side was so dangerous, why would you put college students in an apartment complex on the west side of town if it was dangerous?
yeah,
Ask yourself that.
I don't know. I do not know. But it seems like you got a plan here. What is this? Different sheets, right? This is
This is for cleanup,
Yeah.
this is for bringing business back, and this is for the neighborhood watch. And what is important about the neighborhood watch? No, we don't have big crime, but we want to keep the crime down. I do realize that we do have UNA students that live on the west side of town. The big thing with neighborhood watch is just not that I want you to watch your neighbors and all this type of stuff. With my neighborhood watch, I also want people in District 1 to know their rights because of this right here. Back the Blue. The Back the Blue bill will go in effect October 1st.
is this a state?
This is a state
Okay.
law.
Okay. All right. What are your feelings about that?
Giving full immunity to the police, how do you think that feel?
Well,
Because we do still have to hold our police officers accountable.
yeah.
And what I'm worried about is, not saying that Florence police officers are bad people, but
But they're not all good either.
Right. We do have our bad eggs and everything.
Yeah.
I don't want the people of District 1 to be bullied, feel threatened by this law.
I have a opinion just from my knowledge of my experience with human nature. I think people usually are only as good as you allow them to be. You know, if you give them a blank check, they're going to cash it a lot of times. So
This is going to cause a lot of controversy. I want my youth in my district to know their rights as well as the older people. Know your rights. Know your rights. Comply with police, but know your rights. Don't try to do all this resisting arrest or everything.
not the smartest move.
No, because with this immunity, they can take it out of proportion. You know, I don't want to see Florence splattered across headlines.
Yeah.
You know,
It doesn't bring in any.
it doesn't
good.
bring anything good. So
No.
that's why Neighborhood Watch, setting up classes to letting our residents know
Community
their rights.
accountability right here.
Right. And bridging the
That's some
gap
good
with the
stuff.
police.
Yeah.
I want the police to have, I want District 1 to have a friendly rapport with one another. That's why I've been trying to, when I see the cops, I try to get to know the cops that's patrolling in our neighborhood. Because I want our citizens in District 1, whether it's the north, east, or west side, to be treated fairly like every other citizen in this city. And the police that I've dealt with, they've been great. They've been good customer service. They got down to the questions and answers of what I need, because we do need it on, especially on the west side. I can show you a whole video from my surveillance camera where we had one of these people walk down the street. He was smoking a cigarette, jumped over my wall before my shed got shattered by the tree. They went in and took my wet vac and rambled through other stuff in my backyard, and then politely walked on down the hill, and he went into other people's backyards that night. I wasn't the only one that got broken into. So we do need the neighborhood watch. I really hope that, and then in our community, not everybody can afford to get surveillance put on their house.
Yeah.
You know? So Neighborhood Watch would help with that.
Well, the way I see it is there's a certain amount of bad things are going to happen when police get involved with everything. So the more the citizens can kind of
Police themselves.
police
It's
their own,
prevention.
yeah, it can reduce the amount of contact, which you have X amount of contact with the police. This percentages wise, you're going to have something that pops off.
One thing that I will ask all the mayors, whoever gets the mayor position, to install back the YES program.
What is that?
The YES program was a program in high school that we had where it gave high school students a chance to ride around with the police, get to know the police, get to know what police work is about.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of our kids that live in District 1, have you heard of drill music?
Mm-mm.
You know, there was a crunk era. Now we're
I
into...
I feel like I'm out of date. You know, I'm not hip anymore. I don't know what's going on.
The music that our kids are listening to is called drill music.
Okay.
The rappers that are talking about this music, they're talking about body counts. Go get you a gun. Go
Yeah.
take somebody's life. This is not Call of Duty.
No.
This is why we need this in our community, to let our youth know that shooting somebody and they're not going to respond. This is not GTA 5. They're not going to respond.
Nor should it be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what our rap music is going to, the drill culture,
Yeah.
where people are glorifying guns, and we got to get that out of that mindset. That's why we need Neighborhood Watch back in here.
Do you think? Do you have talking to the public or having people that you know in District 1? Is there people that would? If you made the call, would people step up? Do you think, do people want, like...
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe there are elderly that, or not elderly, but older people that are in the community. Like, for instance...
I feel like that's their job, sort of. It's like,
Yeah.
like you got the young people out working, and the older people kind of, they are the original security camera.
Well, I can say, I can say this. They were the first. On my street alone, on Fed Street, the few little people that's on that street left, we watch out for one another. Even though me and another neighbor, we have surveillance on our home. The other 3 people, they don't. I think the one at the bottom of the hill, he does. But we try to look out for one another. We help one another. We try to pick up things on the road as best as we can. So, and that's what I want all of the streets from the west to the north to east to start looking out for your neighbor. If we can police ourselves before crime has started, then we can prevent a lot of things. And we could help the police out with a lot too.
Would you hold regular district meetings?
That's my plan.
Okay.
My plan is to hold district meetings once a month.
Once a month.
Not just once a year, because I want to inform people as far as a monthly town hall and in using my social media.
Maybe letting them know that there's a shopping center being planned or
Those-
something like that,
Yep. Total communication. I'm going to use social media. There's a lot of people pays attention to social media. You know how many views I'm getting off my videos just by informing? I'm getting over thousands. I'm hitting numbers. So that's...
People are doing this. People are hungry for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing, being a council lady, I'm going to keep you informed. Even the stuff that you don't want to hear about, I'm going to let you know.
Wow. Well, I feel like we've covered a lot. At the end of the interview, generally what I do is I have you. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we kind of button this up?
Not really.
All right, cool. No, that's fine. We can go on, but
But I'm going to give this to you so you can look
This is
over
all-
it.
this is all
And
great
anybody that wants this, whether you're in District
you-
1 or District 2, whatever, hey,
Actually, do you have the PDF that you printed this off? Could you send that to me?
I can.
Because that's easier to share with people and
Yeah,
stuff like
I
that. But I'll
can.
take this. If this is for me, I'll definitely take
This right, and also this right here is just examples of grant writing. The numbers in this it's just fictional. I just made some stuff up. This is to show people what grant writing
What it
is
looks like, what an example looks like.
and what the process of it is going with. That's what that's about.
Okay. That's a lot of information here. If give me a
But a
PDF,
lot
I
of-
might be able to link it to the video or something like
I
that.
will, but a lot of the people, they don't know about that. They don't know that we can use grants to help our neighborhoods and stuff.
Yeah, it's a whole other skill set, grant writing.
It is, it is.
So, I would like now to just pretend I'm not here, and just talk to the camera, and I want you to tell any final thoughts or anything you would like to tell the people watching this before we end the interview.
I just want to say that this election is very important and that we need to make the right decision. A lot of people don't think that I'm qualified and don't know what I'm doing, but trust me, the person that was in this office before didn't know much about politics either. They had to learn. And I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to put into work. And one thing about me, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm gonna keep you informed and try to work my butt off to get things done in 4 years. So basically, I'm just gonna keep saying, you either won't change or you wanna stay stagnant. If you wanna stay stagnant, then vote for who you've been voting for. But if you want something different, you want somebody who's gonna have a mouthpiece, who's gonna stand up for us, who's gonna talk, then I'm the person you vote for. And that's all I really have to say.
Where can people reach you?
You can reach me on my Facebook page. You can DM me. You can, I think my email is on my page, but you can email me. If you have my phone number, you can call me. You can text me. I'm very reachable.
Okay. I'll leave maybe you can send me the information. I can link it to the video. All right. Well, thanks for coming out. And it's nice having to sit down with you.
Nice talking to you too.
Yeah, it seemed like we could have gone on longer, but
I know.
but kind of have limited time here and stuff. And I think we hit the important points and stuff. And if you would like another interview, maybe in a month or so, I'm willing to do that. If anyone who's running for office wants me to interview them, yeah, just let me know. I'll probably do an interview with you.
I'm down.
All right, cool. So that's it.
All right.